I've seen me a pretty face. Most of them don't go no place, but that smile of yours got a set of legs. Let's talk tickets to a private beach, a lagoon that's just out to reach, yeah. Some underbutt and my DSLR.
I just love the sunrise on the water. I didn't think I was going to enjoy them that much. It's just one of my favourite time of day, except for all the other times of days, obviously. Today we're going to sail either to Curlew Island or to Curlew Island, and it really depends on how easterly this wind is or isn't. It's still a bit difficult to tell because we're shielded by this island here, so the wind's still bending around that. So I'm curious to see what happens when we get to clean air. And then we're either going to sort of head more or less that way to an island, or we're going to turn that way, more south. So let's see what happens. Should be a beautiful sail. It's really nice to have full sail out and just these really lovely conditions. It's just a pleasure after all this wild weather. Done a couple of really good boat jobs. Fixed these Genoa cars, put new ones on. So I got one for the spinnaker here in the back. Got another one here for the Genoa for the Yankee to run through, and that's just looking professional already. I just really like it. And now slapping around. Previously the pulleys were slapping just back and forth and hitting the timber work and everything, and a bunch of little things like that to make life easier. One thing that was interesting today, this morning, leaving the last night I spent on a public mooring, and this morning when I left, because I got so much water into here and it was splashing back into the cockpit, little pin that selects neutral and gear, you got to push that in, that got stuck. It's just a case of lack of grease. But what it meant is that she wouldn't come out of neutral, so I couldn't put her into gear once I let go of the mooring. So it was fine, it was good condition, so I just got some WD-40 into there. But it's obviously something to keep an eye on. And that's it. I hope you enjoy the ride. We got rain on the port side, and we also have rain on the starboard side, and at the moment we're heading right through the middle and into the sun, and we're actually going due east. A brilliant course. That's been the hardest thing to achieve in the last days, and so we're heading out to Curlew Island. used to have a screensaver of a sailing boat sailing towards this tropical island, and it's incredible because now I'm doing that myself, no longer a screensaver. Here I am on a beautiful boat. We're closing in on Curlew Island. Just amazing. And yes, there is some traffic ahead of me. We had about 4 or 5 days of really strong southeasterlies, so I think a few boats have waited until it calms down a bit before to keep jumping on and keep heading southeast down the coast. We're keeping up all right with him. Surprising. I was slightly frustrated at one stage. I thought everyone can point a lot higher than I can, but we're doing well. We're keeping up with him, and we're doing 5 knots, 5.5 into a chop. Little wing is just performing really well. It's beautiful, wonderful sail. And obviously my trusty Fleming wind vane on the back, just doing its thing. We're on our way to Middle Percy Island, which is a really big leg, and we may not make it today, so we might have to change plans. We motored the first 20 minutes, half an hour, with the sun rising now, with a little bit of a wind kicked in, and because we're not a catamaran, we turned off the engine and set sail, but we're only doing probably about half the speed that we need to be doing in order to make Percy Island, and we're just a bit low on the course as well. But we'll just adjust and see what happens. It's meant to build, and yeah, see what the wind does. Just go with the flow. But it's beautiful out here again at the moment. Just a lovely still morning. A really small little wave and gentle breeze. After hours of drifting on the tide, finally getting a bit of breeze picking up. Still sailing through that algae muck, but we're sailing. It's always a great feeling when the boat finally starts moving again. So we've had very little wind today, and it's been a long sail, and I usually plan and make passage plans. I've got a goal where I want to go to, maybe a backup plan as well. Both of those didn't work out, and I just let go of it all, and Little Wing is now just taking us to Curlew Island. So she's been close hauled all day, and she's basically right on the money, right to the entrance to the reef, to Curlew Island. I'm just amazed, to be honest. It's incredible. It's like she doesn't need me. I just got to get the anchor up and set the sails, and off she goes and does her own thing. Yeah, so a bit of a cracker. We're about an hour out now, and I've only just now set a go-to, because I've basically just been steering or sailing without a course all day. I've just been close hauled, trying to get as far east as we can and letting her do her thing. Yeah. That's all. Tonight will be a Curlew Island, which should be over my shoulder if all goes well. If it's not there, let me know.
I've seen me a pretty face. Most of them don't go no place. But that smile of yours got a set of legs. Let's talk tickets to a private beach.